Hi, today's lesson is a quick summary on how to use the sine law. Hey, before we dive into that, let's recall corresponding pairs. We have a triangle REF. We use capital letters to represent the angles, and the side across from it is going to be the little letter. So this is E, little e, and F, little f. Let's take a look at the sine law. So the sine law says that if I have the ratio of the sine of an angle divided by the corresponding side, this will be equal to all of the other corresponding pairs. So the sine of the second angle and divided by the corresponding side, and again is equal to sine of the third angle divided by the corresponding side. This is called the sine law, but also we can rewrite it like this because we know that a ratio is going to be equal if we flip it as well. Now, since this one has two equal signs in the equation, we can't use all of it. We're only going to pick two corresponding pairs and use that, and then we'll ignore the third. So for example, I could say that I am going to use A as the complete pair, and I can use the second pair as B as long as I have one complete pair and one piece of information in the second pair, then I can use the sine law. Now let's look at the ratio. I want to prove that this relationship is true. If I had a triangle like this, and I were to take the sine of each pair, I'll work it out to show that each of these are equal. So let's call this A. We have little a, B, little b, and C, little c. So sine of 90 divided by 2 should be equal to sine of 30 divided by 1, and it should be equal to sine of 60 divided by root 3. Let's put this into our calculator to see what value we get. So the first one, sine 90 divided by 2, that's half. Now, sine 30 divided by 1, also half. And sine 60 divided by root 3, this is also half, or 0.5. So as I've converted it into a decimal, I get 0.5 is equal to 0.5, and it's equal to 0.5. So we know that this relationship is true. Now, let's use the sine law to find a side. In this case, we have triangle ELF. So we have angle L. This is 58 degrees. We don't know what little l is. We have angle F as 22 degrees. And we have little f here, angle E, and little e. Find side F accurate to one decimal spot. So I need to find F, and so I know that F is going to be one of the pairs that I'm interested in. I don't have a complete pair for L, but I know that I can find E easily. So angle E. I took 180 minus 22 minus 58. We have 100 degrees. So my complete pair that I'm working with is going to be the E pair. Let's write our equation now. I have sine E over E is equal to sine F over F. Let's substitute the values in. Sine 100 over 63.8 is equal to sine 22 divided by little f. Now, since these are ratios, we can cross multiply. So I have f sine 100 is equal to 63.8 sine 22. Let's continue on. We're going to divide by sine 100. 63.8 sine 22 divided by sine 100 is equal to f. Let's throw it into the calculator to see what we get. So 63.8 sine 22 divided by sine 100. We have f is equal to 24.3 meters. Okay, using the sine law, I want you to try to find side B. Pause the video and work on solving this. Here's the solution to the question that you were trying. Now, one question that's often asked is, how do I know whether to use the sine law or the cosine law? Well, let's go back to cosine law. Remember yesterday we said that cosine law, we can find a side if I had a side angle side sandwich. So when I look at this, I don't have a side angle side. And because I don't have a side angle side, I can't use it to find a side. In sine law, I'm always talking about pairs, and it's the pairs that I'm interested in to help me find another side. Now, using sine law, I can use it to find an angle as well. Let's draw the triangle JER. So we have J 42 degrees. Little j is equal to 10.2. We have angle E and little e across the way at 8.5 meters. Now I have JJ as my complete pair. My second pair I have is EE, and I am given one E, little e, and I need to find big E. So the equation I'm going to use, sine j over j, is equal to sine E over E. Let's substitute the values in now. Sine 42 over 10.2. This is equal to sine E over 8.5. Let's cross multiply. 8.5 sine 42 is equal to 10.2 times sine E. Let's divide by 10.2 so that we can isolate for sine E. 8.5 times sine 42 divided by 10.2 is equal to sine E. Let's undo the sign now by taking the inverse sign of this monstrosity on the left. And this is equal to angle E. Go to our calculator. 8.5 sine 42 divided by 10.2. And we have angle E as 33.8. But since we're rounding it, we're going to round to 34 degrees. All right, pause the video again. Try to find angle C. Here's the solution for angle C. And once again, I want to show why we can't use the cosine law. So in cosine law, we can find an angle if I have all three sides. But in this case, I only have two sides and one angle. Another factor that may give it away is the fact that this has a corresponding pair. And because it has the corresponding pair, um, and this one is a second corresponding pair, it hints that we're going to use the sine law. The last example we have here, we're asked to solve the triangle using sine law only. So once again, when we're talking about solving, it means we need to find all the sides and all the angles. Let's draw a triangle PEG. Right, we have angle G at 27 degrees. Across from it, we have little g is 13. Next, we have capital P, and across the way, side P is 17. Lastly, we have E and little e. So let's begin. I notice that I have the complete pair for G. So let's use G as the starting point. For the PP pair, we have the side but not the angle. So let's find that. So in our angle P, we're going to set up our ratio. Sine P over side P is equal to sine G over side G. Sine P over 17 equals sine 27 over 13. Let's cross multiply. 13 sine P is equal to 17 sine 27. Let's rearrange it to isolate for sine P. So sine P is equal to 17 sine 27 over 13. It will come up here. Now I'm going to undo the sign. Inverse sine of 17 sine 27 divided by 13. Sine inverse, 17 sine 27 over 13, 36.4 degrees. Let's round it to the nearest angle. And we have P is equal to 36 degrees. Okay, now that we have 36 degrees, I can use the sum of a triangle to get angle E. So we have 180 degrees minus 27 minus 36. 180 minus 27 minus 36, 117. Okay, now that we have 117 degrees, we have a semi-complete pair for EE. Let's once again use sine G, but we're going to have E as well. So sine E over E is equal to sine G over G. Sine 117 divided by E is equal to sine 27 divided by 13. Let's cross multiply. 13 sine 117 is equal to E sine 27. Let's continue to simplify. So we have 13 sine 117 divided by sine 27 is equal to E. Put this into the calculator, and we have E is equal to 25.5 units. Okay, so that's it. In a nutshell, how to use the sine law.